Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, new waves of power interruptions burden consumers in Luzon and may persist until next week as power reserves crash to negative levels. National Grid Corporation of the Philippines spokesperson Cynthia Alabanza joins us live. And later, Senator Manny Pacquiao wants to meet with President Rodrigo Duterte after questioning the validity of a PDP Laban Council meeting without him. And how likely is a Duterte scenario in 2022? PDP Laban Executive Director Ron Munsayak tells us more live. More brownouts hound consumers as the Luzon grid hits the red alert status. The Energy Department says that increase in demand, unscheduled outages of power plants, and low supply from the Malampaya gas field are key triggers for the power problems. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have NGCP spokesperson Cynthia Alabanza. Attorney Alabanza, welcome to the source, and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Pinky.
So we experienced rotational brownouts the past couple of days. Should we expect the same today, maybe until the weekend?
Well, we do have some good news in that regard. A large plant came online yesterday, so this made the situation a little more less volatile. So we did lift the yellow and red alerts yesterday afternoon, but we are still closely monitoring the situation because there are still plants that go on and off throughout the day.
So can we expect brownouts today?
Right now, the grid is under normal conditions, so we aren't foreseeing any power interruptions today.
And Attorney, when you say normal, it's not red and it's not yellow alert status.
Yes, because demand is low also today. The temperatures are a little bit cooler, which means that apart from the plant coming in from yesterday, there is also less demand on the grid.
So what happened the past couple of days? What were the factors that led to the rotational brownouts?
Well, beginning Monday, NGCP monitored several power plants that went on emergency shutdown. Ordinarily, these power plants should give 7-day notices if they're going to go on emergency shutdown. But the plants were not able to comply. Neither were they part of the annual scheduled maintenance shutdown. And this amounted to almost 4,000 megawatts lost from the grid, 90% of which was unscheduled. So this was something that was not foreseen by the grid.
But why were they not able to inform the NGCP about these power plants possibly going down? When you said there has to be, or some maintenance work, when you said that there has to be a 7-day notice?
Yeah, let me just clarify that. Ordinarily, we have planned maintenance shutdowns, and those are planned a year ahead. So beginning the second half of the year prior, these maintenance shutdowns are planned throughout the year to ensure that there will be no point in time where there will be too many plants on simultaneous shutdown. Right. This is really to ensure that we have sufficient supply throughout the year. What happened was a lot of them were unscheduled, aggravated by the fact that they did not provide sufficient lead time or that 7-day notice I was talking about. Mm-mm. And the reasons vary. All of them are mostly technical and operational reasons for having to undergo that emergency shutdown.
Is it true that the lack of experts not being able to enter the country, it could be one of the causes for the plant shutdowns?
Well, NGCP is a separate entity from the power plants. We just really monitor their operations as we receive the power into the grid. But I think that would be a plausible explanation because NGCP itself has had difficulties with having its own foreign experts come in because of the quarantine and travel restrictions currently in place.
Right. So even the NGCP is having a hard time with that, having your experts actually come in. But just going back to my earlier question, I was talking about the power plants because I read somewhere that the lack of experts coming into the country to be able to maybe maintain or look into the power plants has become a problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because I think that difficulty is something that everyone is experiencing, especially those who have foreign technical experts coming in to help with the maintenance and repairs of their facilities.
But Attorney, I guess it goes back to the question that, or the concern, or what has happened every single year, that demand really during summer increases. Was this not anticipated?
Well, NGCP, for its part, as early as April, we released a statement saying that we foresee some thinning of supplies. In fact, the first round of red alerts was predicted for late April to early May, which is why we released that statement to warn the public and to ask government to put in place contingency measures that will alleviate this. Fortunately, at that time, we were placed under ECQ, and that significantly drove demand down, which is why we did not see those red alerts towards the end of April and in early May. We do, however, see further thinning of supplies sometime July and August. But again, it's a little bit too far off. We have to see the supply-demand dynamics until then. But that was the annual projection that we would see thinning supplies in April and in July and August.
I see. But because the plants did not give the 7-day notice for the plant shutdown, are they going to be penalized for that?
Well, NGCP is the transmission service provider. We do not have any supervisory or regulatory power over the other energy industry players. So we will leave that to the ERC to determine whether they should be investigated or penalized.
Right. So I think it's the ERC already asking for an explanation. Sila po humihingi na ng paliwanag kung bakit ito nangyari. I guess what's clear is the NGCP is saying that you, the NGCP, must be told or informed about a planned shutdown 7 days before the actual shutdown so that necessary measures can be done to address this. Yung pong pag-usapan po natin, yung at least ang magandang balita ngayon, walang brownout na magaganap ngayong araw because attorney, nagkakaroon po ng problema unang-una yung mga business owners. Nagko-complain po sila dito dahil hindi sila nabigyan ng sapat na abiso tungkol dito sa brownouts. Paano ho kaya maayos ito?
Well, that's exactly the primary purpose of that 7-day notice so that NGCP can give its customers, the distribution utilities and the cooperatives that are connected to the grid, enough notice to inform their own customers and their consumers so that contingency measures can be put in place. So one of the things really that is important for NGCP is to be able to give a real-time overview of the situation, the supply-demand situation, so that we can address these when we are able to.
Like what happened po sa Valenzuela, I believe that 1 or 2 vaccination sites ay hindi po nagkaroon po ng brownout at nagkaroon din po ng problema. So we're looking at affected, apart from households and offices, yung business owners, are vaccination sites as well. Is there a way, meron po kayang paraan para maayos ito o maabisuhan sila?
Well, as I was monitoring the news as well, I heard that part of the contingency plans of these vaccination sites should be, again, the presence of generator sets in case something happens, which happened over the past few days. For NGCP's part, that is why it's important for us to give our customers notice because we only connect the distribution utilities and the cooperatives. So we have no directly connected customers na vaccination site.
Yeah.
So yung mga kooperatiba ang dapat mag-abiso sa mga vaccination sites and coordinate with the LGUs to ensure that this will not happen.
Para maiwasan yung ganitong pangyayari. Just to summarize this, Attorney, so walang brownout, walang rotational brownout ang magaganap ngayong araw. What about on Friday?
Let me clarify that because again, we see fluctuations yesterday when we lifted the red and yellow alert because the power plant came in. Towards the early evening, more power plants went on shutdown. So we actually raised another yellow alert early evening to around 10 o'clock. So the only assurance I can give is that none that is foreseen, but we have to balance that with a caveat that this is only true if no further power plants go on emergency shutdown or if the projections for demand hold. This morning I woke up, it was raining, so the temperatures were cooler, but throughout the day, if it turns warmer, we really can't say if demand will overtake supply. But for now, there's none foreseeable.
None foreseeable for today, and you can't give us also any conclusive answer for Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, it's the same answer we do not see any foreseeable interruptions. But again, it really all depends on the dynamic of demand and supply because really the margins between the two are very thin. If we had more than enough supply available to the grid, then we won't be talking about this.
NGCP spokesperson Cynthia Alabanza, ma'am, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.